How you doing, folks? Welcome back to Irish and Scottish fishing and fly tying. So today I'm just going to show you how to tie up a Cape Mclaren cruncher. Now, crunch is a very popular pattern, and if you've done any fishing at all, you'll definitely know about the Cape Mclaren, very famous Scottish pattern. So I've came up with a pattern for my cruncher box, and I've had a lot of success with it, and it's there's a little bit of variations there that are different from a cruncher, but I'm trying to keep it as similar to a Cape Mclaren as possible. So we'll just get into it and I'll show you how to tie it up. As I say, it's a good pattern, especially in a size 12. It does well for me on brownies, on rivers, and it's very successful in still waters as well for rainbows on the top dropper. So we'll start things off. I'm tying this on a B175 size 10, and I'm using UNI-THREAD black in 8/0. So we'll just start the thread off straight away. Couple of turns, come in with a stand line snip. Then you want to come in with your rib, which is going to be small silver wire, and you just want to catch that into the bottom of the hook and run it down. So there you go, that's it caught in at the bottom. Just run it down the hook. Don't worry about touching turns yet. Catch it down to about there and just put that out of the way. You then want to come in for your, keeping it as traditional as possible as the Cape Mclaren, you want to come in with your golden pheasant toppings. And come in a nice wee pack. I have got a full crest in my tying collection, but I'll come in with my toppings. So this is just topping here. So what I do then is I just moisten it so it can get it in a good shape, and then place it onto the top of the hook. Put one loose turn in, adjust it then to the length I wanted. That's about right. Couple of tight turns down to the bottom, making sure it's not rotating. Then all I'll do then is come up, do a diagonal cut, put a couple of turns in. Then you want to come in with cock pheasant center tails in black. I've already got a couple prepped on my little vice thing. So you want to get yourself 5 fibres. If I'm tying on a size 12, I drop it to 3 fibres. I just like the way the body is. Catch them in with the points up at the top of the hook, and just run your way down the hook then. Just taking your time. You get to here, happy with that, making sure your tail hasn't moved, which it hasn't. And start to put a couple of touch and turns in coming up just to get the body set. Then you want to come up with your pheasant tail then, and being careful with this, it doesn't catch the barb, because it is a weak material. It's not as weak as a, what do you call it, peacock curl, but it is weak if it catches the hook. Again, taking your time with this coming up, and if you let go of it, it will unravel, so it can be a bit temperamental at times, or fiddly. So when I get up, when I'm starting to lose grip, what I do is I pinch it and rotate it. So come up to about there, making sure I've left enough room to put a good THORAX on this. Couple of nice locking turns. Come in with my scissors and snip. Quickly check my tail again, moisten it, and then I'm going to come up with my rib. Now, because I'm tying my thread this way, I'm going to come up with my rib the other way. There we go. Just nice evenly spaced turns, working your way up. You know, you can take your time with this if you want, but just wing it up the hook. Two locking turns over, and pull back on it. Couple of tight turns, and then helicopter it off. Now, for the body on this fly, because traditionally a Cape Mclaren is palmered with a black feller, so for the thorax of this I'm trying to imitate the legs. So the thorax of this I'm using ice, straggle and fine, and this is a bit leggy, if you know what I mean. I know it's not going to be a leggy body, but it give me the imitation. So I'm just going to catch that into the top of the hook. Like that. Run my thread to the front, and then I'm going to just build up a nice thorax here with this material. Because it's kind of like frets, as you rotate it round, just pull back the fibres after every turn. Build yourself up a nice little thorax. As I say, a nice leggy thorax. There we go. Once you get in that position there, 1, 2 turns over, pull back all the fibres, 2 locking turns. What you want to do is come in now and snap. Right, this pattern itself, as it is, this will catch fish, and I don't know what you can call it. You can call it your Cape Mclaren nymph or whatever, but obviously it hasn't got the hackle on it. So for the cruncher version of this, I like using, for the majority of all my crunchers, I use TURRALL hen hackle, hen neck, and I'm using it in furnace. You can use Greenwells, but I think the TURRALL stuff, it's cheaper for bringing away, and it seems to do a good hackle for me. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a longer hackle for this. Usually with a cruncher you'd have a smaller one. That's my hackle fibre there. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bear back on some of the hackle fibres, so I've got a good portion to tie in with. As you can see there, that's it bared. And then all I'm going to do now is attach it to the top of the hook. One less turn into the top of the hook, and work my fibres up to where I want my hackle to start. And then come back to the front of the hook, pull that leg back. Like, don't try and snip, don't try and pluck this off. You just snip it off, and then don't worry about the loose fibres. We are going to tidy that up. And then for working with these, you want to come in with your hackle pliers. You can do it by hand if you want, but because when you're working with these, it's just, I find it easier using the hackle pliers. So come in and catch it in with your hackle pliers, and then before you start turning, just put in a couple of pull all the fibres back. And because of this, usually on a normal cruncher pattern, I do 2 turns with these hackles. Because it's a Cape Mclaren version and I wanted a bit more bushier at the front end, I'm going to do 3. Oh, as you see there, I've just slipped off. So all I'm going to do is bring it back, moisten my fibres again. As I say, it will slip. Sometimes it will slip off. Sometimes I wouldn't worry too much about it. As long as you're gentle with it, you know, there's no issue with it, like restarting. So there's 1. Pull back. 2. And then we're coming in with our last one. 3. And then all I do then is come up with my thread, 2 turns over, like so, and then holding this back, I pull everything back, put in a couple of turns, and then if you tied it in right, you should be able to just pluck it off, which I haven't been able to do. So all I'm going to do is come in with my snips, not my snips, I'm with my tweezers. I'm going to maintain tension with my bobbin and pluck it away. All these fibres here, all you want to do then is just rotate, pull them all back, and then start to build up your head. Gradually just building up your head. As I say, this eel thread, if you take your time when you're doing your heads, it will give you a very good head, and it'll be very neat. There we go, that's it done there. Give it a little pinch. You're happy with it. There's a wee loose black straggle fibre there. I'm just going to come in and snip it, being careful not to snip my fibre. There we go. Come in with your whip finish tool. One, two, three, four. I'm going to do that twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's it done. Come in and snip it. Moisten your fingers. Push all the fibres back. Just pinch them. Just gets them to sit nice before you put your varnish on. I know so people looking at this will think maybe the hackle fibres are a bit long, but for this pattern, because it's the Kate Mclaren cruncher, I like the hackle fibres a little bit longer for this. And then come in with your Vineyards fine head cement and put a nice layer over the head. Again, as soon as you've done it, put it in your drying stand, and once it's completely dry, put another coat on, and that's you done with your fly. That's it completed, folks. My Kate Mclaren cruncher. Great pattern. If you have got the materials, I would definitely put it in your box. Like, as I say, I grew up on a river, and I would fish all the traditionals, like your Alexanders, your tail blue and silvers, and Bibios and Kate Mclarens. But Kate Mclaren's always works well for me, so I just figured about last year time, I figured I'd tie myself up a cruncher version of it, and I've had a lot of success with this fly. So I hope you enjoyed it, folks, and please add it to your box. If you like all my flies, please subscribe to my channel, and there will be more flies to follow. Also, when we get back in the water, I will be doing fly fishing videos where I'm out in still waters, out on salmon rivers, out in brown trout rivers, where I'm going to be actually using the patterns that I've tied up on this channel. So I'll see you later, folks, and I'll see you at the next fly.